Okay, so the rudder turns with this thing are really short. Let's do some rudder turns here. That's nice. Okay, that was about 10 centimeters from my nose.
Okay. Show me.
Hi there, welcome back to the DutchRC channel for a final review of this HobbyKing Mini B-17 Flying Fortress Bomber. Yeah, that's a long name, right, for a very small plane. Let me show you the scale with my hand. It's about 700mm small plane. And it has brushed motors, so it's far from a high performance plane. It's more a fun park flyer, and that's immediately one of the benefits of this plane. You can fly this plane in very small airfields, parks, and actually the wheels are pretty good. You can take off and land off of grass, not tall grass of course, but if it's a well kept grass field you can take off and land at it. Now the first thing I'll pass by you is the looks. Of course that's subject to personal taste. But I think the amount of scale details on this plane are for its size pretty well as one could expect. I think there's even a pilot figure in the cockpit over here. You've got barrels over here. There's a turret over here and one at the bottom with two barrels over here as well. And the spinners look pretty scale, 3-blade props as appropriate. And what I should also notice is, make note of, is that the paint on this model is remarkably resilient. It doesn't flake off at all. I've flown this plane many times. I'd say I've done about 50 flights with it now, and it looks as new, really. There's no damage, no hanger rash at all. I've also had a few not so convenient landings, and as you can see, the landing gear, though looking quite flimsy, is still fine. Yeah, everything is still looking as it was when it came out of the box. Alright, that's the looks again, subject to personal taste, but I think if you like warbirds like this, you'll like this plane. Okay, price. This plane, where I got it in Europe, cost me 110 euros, which is approximately the same in dollars. And that's not super cheap for such a small plane, but it's not super expensive, and for the amount of fun you can have with this plane, I think it's spot on, really. The plane comes with a stabilizer and a receiver. It's a bind and fly model, so 110 euros / dollars. I think that's okay. Actually, it does have a few features that most competitive planes do not have. Once again, it has a stabilizer, but the stabilizer can be switched off, which is a huge benefit for me, as I want to control what the plane does myself. Thank you very much. And well, like I said, in this plane you can switch off the stabilizer. And a neat little trick of this plane is that you can thrust factor with the motors. If you make a rudder turn to the left, like this, the right motors will spin faster than the left ones. So it's the rudder itself also turns, but you can make super tight corners that way. Lots of fun. Well, once again, I think for the 110 euros you get your money's worth. It's a well-built plane. Quality, I've mentioned the paint job before. The paint job looks pretty good, I think. Overall the color scheme is pretty consistent, though this plastic canopy is a few shades off. But you'll really have to look closely to notice that. Probably in the video you're looking at now, you won't really notice it. So it's the paint job is good. The landing gear, yeah, once again, it looks pretty flimsy, but a side effect of that is that it can absorb a lot of the impacts. I've had a few rough landings with it.
Hot damn, this is going to be a handful to land this way. Okay.
And it's still fine. And actually you can take off pretty rough terrain with this landing gear. So yeah, I've never had any issues with this plane. It flew fine even in high winds. If you follow my channel you know that. And if you do not follow my channel, I will put a few links to my other videos with this plane in this video. Okay, for what kind of pilot is this plane suitable? Is this plane suitable for a beginner? Well, it is not a hard plane to fly. Due to the stabilizer it has, it's pretty easy to fly. However, you can be caught off guard by that thrust vectoring. Once again, you can make super tight corners, really almost on the spot, due to the thrust vectoring, and a beginner pilot might get caught off guard by that. Yeah. So, well, depends a bit. I wouldn't buy this as a first plane. I would never advise a nice looking scale plane as a first plane. But a second plane, yes, if you have your sticks and your coordination under control, you will be able to fly this plane. No problem, I think. Okay, so in most reviews people go over pros and cons. Yeah, the pros that the qualities of the plane that qualify as pros for me might not be pros for you. So I would suggest that you take a look at my flight videos. Once again, I'll put a link in the description of this video to those. And then you will be able to make up your mind if this is the kind of plane for you. For me, it's super fun to fly, especially for the price and how easy it is to transport. That's definitely a pro, of course. It's a very small plane. It'll probably fit on the head shelf. I don't know the correct word, but of your car or on the back seat, it's super small. So and even if you take it apart, the main wing can be taken off after unscrewing these two screws, you could fit it in a backpack. So super easy to transport. Cons, however, there is one tiny con, and it's not a very important one, I think, but the LiPo, it's a 600 milliampere hour LiPo that you can get to here in the nose. By the nose is magnetically attached, securely as well. Here is the LiPo, and it's attached in the fuselage with Velcro on the side here. And it's a bit hard to get out. I find myself just hooking up the entire plane to the charger, as you can't get in there with your fingers. At least I can't, and I don't have huge fingers. If you need to take the LiPo off, I use a ruler like this, and I just work it in between the two Velcro strips, and then you can quite easily get it out. But if you find yourself at the flying field trying to exchange LiPos, that's a bit of a con. Not a hugely important one, I think. And well, that's it really. Once again, I'm quite impressed by the quality and the amount of fun you can have with this plane. And if you have any questions about the plane, hit me up a comment. I'd also like to know, of course, what you thought of this review of the plane, and hope it was informational for you. Thank you very much for watching, of course, and see you back in another video. Bye bye.